to show you the type of patterns we're looking for, the pretty ones as we call them. Let's have a look and see what we've got. I've set up the Mandy list. It's been scanning for some time and it's in tab mode, so each new trade fills the entire width of the display. I will now just pull the top of RET Pro up so that we can maximize the size as we look at these charts. I'll go to the first tab, and here is a setup. It's still in play. This is what we're looking for. Here we have the apex. We're looking for a strong move into the apex and a strong move away from the apex. Both sides of the apex, which ends up being the stop loss, should have a strong straight move. The straighter it is, the better. Now, on this shoulder, it should move sideways. We should move from strong and straight to sideways mess. And in this case, we don't see sideways mess, we see another strong move back in the opposite direction. So this disqualifies. Now, if it did qualify, then we look at this shoulder and we're looking for a messy move here. It can move in the opposite direction to this, but we really want to see it's messy, preceded by a strong move down. If I move this here, a strong move into the first part of the underlay. So strong, messy, strong and straight, and then messy. This didn't have mess here, so it disqualifies. I'm going to close that chart because I'm just not interested in it at all. Let's look at this one. Now, here's the apex. Strong and straight, that qualifies nicely. Here, is it messy? No, it pulls back quite strongly, so that is disqualified also for that reason alone. This would have been fine on this side. It's a little bit messy, certainly more messy than this strong move, and there was a reasonably strong move down. So the only thing that disqualified this pattern really was the fact that this shoulder came back hard and fast where we were looking for it to go sideways. So I'm just going to close that chart as well. Not interested in that one. Here we've got a strong move up to the apex and, well, a reasonably strong move down. It came down strongly here and then kind of went sideways. That's not strong enough, so we would disqualify this pattern on that alone. And actually, if you look at this pattern, this was the setup here. That apex down sideways, and that was the move there. We've actually missed it. So that is not strong and straight. That's strong and straight for the first half and then went sideways and wavered. So that is disqualified. Also, this shoulder here is not messy. So that one is not a happening thing. I'll go to this pattern now. Here we've got the E-mini S&P Midcap 400. The apex, strong and fast, strong and straight, both sides of the apex. That's nice. But this pulled back heavily, it's not messy. So once again, that disqualifies. Looking at this one now, this is actually the same market, but a different setup. We've got the apex up here, and it doesn't matter how you zoom in or zoom out, this is not particular. Oh, that's quite strong, but this one is not coming back strong. It's wavering, it's up and down, it's not strong and straight. So I would disqualify that one as well. And of course, the shoulder here is a strong move. It should be. We're actually looking for a sideways, messy move there. So that disqualifies. And that's okay. We can disqualify 9 out of 10. In fact, if you just take 1 out of 10, you'll get very good trades. They're coming through fast and furious, aren't they? Let's go back to this. Strong, that would qualify. Messy, no. This is pulling back way too far. You're really looking for a sideways move. So that disqualifies. This trade is all over. Here's just the shadow left. And that was a sideways move, but not really strong and straight. It went sideways, so I would disqualify that. Not that that's an opportunity now, it's all over. Here we've got another setup. strong move down, not particularly strong move back up again. It's moving up and down, it's reasonably messy, and this is pulling back way too far and too fast. So that's not qualifying either. Now, here we have an interesting pattern. Moves strongly down and reasonably strongly up. Okay, so it's coming up back and forward. But that is quite strong up, quite strong down, reasonably messy. That's probably a little strong. Want to see a little bit more mess, preceded by a good fast furious move and then sideways. Now this sideways move makes it really interesting. It actually qualifies very nicely. This is the type of sideways messy move we're looking for. The only thing about this that stops it from being pretty is that this is not particularly a strong move up. Okay, although if we zoom out a little bit, it looks a lot stronger, doesn't it? So you can zoom in, zoom out, you get a different perspective. This is reasonably good. Certainly this messy sideways move makes it look excellent. And we'll look at the next one. That's all over. This pulled back way too far to qualify. This one's all over, so that doesn't really qualify. I have no interest there. Here, moved up strongly. There's a nice strong apex there, but this pulled back way too far, so that disqualifies. Here, what have we got? We've got the franc. That looks interesting. Moved down strongly, moved up strongly, and it seems to be moving sideways, preceded by quite a strong move. What we'd like to see here is more sideways movement, just messy sideways movement. So we may just leave that for the moment. It's a 40 tick chart. It's going to take a little while to play out, but we're really looking for that to show more sideways move before we would get into that one. We've got the mini Russell happening here, and this would be disqualified simply because, if you can see this, reasonably strong move down, although it wavers quite a lot up, but this is pulled back way too much. We need a sideways move, not a strong move back here on this shoulder, so we would disqualify that as well. Now we've come back to the franc. We've already looked at that, but this is just a different time frame. And here we've got the pound again. So often you get a number of charts coming up, same chart, same setup, but just on a different interval. Now here we've got the DAX future. It's a short setup. We've got a strong apex on each side of the apex. It's nice and strong and fast here, and then it's gone sideways. Notice it's just gone sideways here. That's quite a good sign. All right, this is probably moving a little bit more quickly than what we'd like to see, but it's reasonably messy. Notice that it's just gone sideways, and it was preceded by a strong move. So that actually is a pretty nice setup. I'd be quite happy with that. Now we're looking at the E-mini, S&P 500. That's quite interesting also. Reasonably straight, furious move here. Coming down nice and straight and fast, but this is pulled back too far. It is showing a sideways move now, but it has pulled back quite a long way. That is quite good, but it's actually pulled back just a little bit too far. We want to see it just moving sideways here, not pulling back then moving sideways. If that was to qualify, we could say, well, this has been a nice sideways move. Notice that even though the blue underlay is showing this as the corrective move, it may well be this, because the software doesn't get it right all the time. We can turn off the underlay and we'll be able to see it more clearly. Here we've got the move up, sideways, up, down, and then actually pull back too far, as I was saying before it went sideways. Now with the underlaying off, you can see that it's not really a fast, furious move up here. It's pulled back quite a long way before it got to the top. We want to see moves like that on both sides of the apex. Okay, it looks like we've got a nice setup on the S&P Mini. So I'll place that trade.
Order filled.
And it looks like we've got another pretty trade happening on the Mini Russell. So I'll place that trade also.
Order filled. Order filled.
And already
Order filled.
Already the mini Russell has gone through the stop. And I believe we also had, let's see here, S&P Mini also went through the stop. So there's 2 winning trades within a couple of minutes. There you have the S&P Mini. It hit its stop, its target, and came out for a profit. And also the Russell, let's just have a look at that, TF. So that happened even before I could even open up a chart, just all within a couple of minutes. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I've given you a basic overview of how the system works. I've shown you, demonstrated the best setups and how to pick those. And I've picked a couple of perfect setups, and within a minute, they've both hit their targets. That gives you a general idea of how RET Pro 4 operates. If you want to know more, contact us at Elliottician and talk to one of our salespeople. They are traders themselves. I hope to hear from you soon. If you're serious about your future, serious about your trading profits, please contact us and talk RET Pro 4.